Increased taxes and the hike in the benchmark lending rate to 10.50% are some of the measures that the government is banking on to alleviate the pressure on interest rates to achieve fiscal sustainability and long-term financial stability. Central Bank of Kenya Governor Dr. Kamau Thuge says revenue mobilization remains a key priority as Kenya seeks to reduce borrowing and stabilize debt. Here is Trevor Ngendo with the details.
The rate of inflation has been at least 7.9% since June 2022, which is outside the government's medium-term target of 2.5% to 7.5%. To mitigate the risk associated with currency depreciation, policymakers at the Central Bank of Kenya have been increasing the benchmark lending rate from 7.0% in May 2022 to 10.50%, pushing it to an 83-month high during their Monetary Policy Committee last month.
We've taken the position as a central bank that we are going to be quite aggressive in terms of addressing inflationary pressures, and that's why we increased the CBR rate by 100 basis points, which was quite, in a sense, that was also catching up with some of the increase in interest rates that have happened in other countries. For example, the US. The US has raised their rate, their policy rate by 500 basis points.
Dr. Thunge says that going forward, the benchmark lending rate will be determined by inflation performance.
Come September, and we feel now the overall inflation has come down, food inflation has come down. The core inflation is also moving towards the direction of the 3% that I mentioned. Then we can revisit whether we might even lower the CBR.
He made the remarks during the launch of the Equity Bank's Kenya to DRC Investors Roadshow, which seeks to connect investors and entrepreneurs to foster trade. Equity Group CEO James Mwangi says abundant natural resources and emerging markets in DRC hold huge potential for investors.
We are now starting to see the market giving us huge opportunity. We are hoping that will happen to manufacturing. We are hoping that will happen to scale in all the other sectors. We can't deal with poverty in the world without rebalancing. And rebalancing can only mean developing Africa.
Businesses were challenged to collaborate in harnessing the potential in East and Central Africa to create a lasting economic impact in the region. The Kenya DRC Investors Roadshow presents Kenya and the East African region as a whole an opportunity to attract investors and strengthen regional ties, serving as a platform for Kenyan investors to pour more money into the country, creating more job opportunities, increased economic activities, and creation of new industries in the East African region. Trevor Ngendo for Prime Edition, Nairobi.